It's unsafe to operate the trains in high winds. Second, we don't want the equipment damaged, and trains are designed to deal with a lot of tough duty. They are not intended to be submerged.
Right there, Mystic Seaport, Connecticut. You can see the view here, and this is someone who is out looking live at the scene. And, you know, as you look to these structures, it could be an extremely different view as we go into the next 24 to 48 hours, Vivian.
And the next 24 hours will be very critical over the Northeast. Here is the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center. By the way, we get official advisories every 3 hours, and as the system gets a little closer, perhaps even more consistent than that, 3 hours. You can see winds of 75 miles an hour, but we're not really concerned about the winds of this being a Category 1 hurricane. We're more interested in the overall magnitude of this system and the overall pressure gradient, or the strong winds that will be so expansive across the Northeast for such a long period of time, and that we think will lead to widespread power outages over the region. It's moving to the Northeast at about 14 miles an hour. Here is the center of Sandy, by the way, right here. Again, you can see it's a good ways away from the coast, and certainly even farther away from the New York City area. I was looking at the latest extrapolation, and actually it's over 500 miles away from the New York City area. But that is the center of the storm, of course. We're talking about the tropical storm force winds already at this time spanning out over 400 miles away from the center. We're already getting tropical storm force winds along the coast here of North Carolina and Virginia, and just battering the waves. Very heavy rain for the coastal areas. Our very own Julie Martin is there at Nags Head, and she's really getting battered right now. And again, you can see how far it is away from the coast. Now, this is where we think Sandy is going. We think it'll continue to the northeast for the short term, but then eventually take a turn to the left, and that will make it right inland here, or a direct path near the New York City area. Now, we're thinking sometime between Monday evening and Tuesday morning is when the center of the storm will come on shore. But again, long before then, we'll start to feel the impacts from Sandy, as those winds are already very, very expansive. Now, here are some of the biggest impacts that we think we'll find in the New York City area and the entire Northeast. Flooding, rains, and wind damage, because we're talking about winds up to 60 and 70 miles an hour for days. So that could really create huge problems. So please be prepared right now to be without electricity, perhaps for days starting tomorrow. Heather?
All right, thank you so much, Vivian. And we also want to talk about some of these places where we are not only seeing rain, but other places that we're going to be seeing some snow from this very complex system. First of all, you know, certainly it's those areas along the coast that we will be looking at the rainfall. But, you know, as we look here at some of the threat conditions we'll be finding, I wanted to point out that in addition to that flooding, rain, and the wind damage, which is going to be so widespread, folks, you are going to see those widespread power outages. Some estimates are that 10 million customers could be without power. That's customers. So each customer might have 4 people that live in that family or home. And then, of course, we'll also be monitoring the inland flooding. So we have that going on, but also this is a very complex system. And what you'll note is that as it continues to work its way up the coast, it also is going to be, you know, merging here, and it is going to merge in with this really deepening low pressure system. And while you see the wet conditions along the coast, we've got that very cold air that is in place behind this, and that is going to mean that some of these mountainous areas will actually be picking up some snowfall, and that's where things are going to get very interesting. This is how we go through Monday, and you note here the regions that are picking up some of that snowfall. It's going to be in the higher elevations, but in some of these areas you'll notice it's even 2,000 feet that you'll be looking at snow, and potentially feet of snow for some of you. Very cold with that, very windy conditions. So Vivian, there's so many aspects to this storm system. It really makes it fascinating, but at the